Submissions from the first respondent, Yoweri Museveni, commenced yesterday at 9:35 a.m. as directed by the Chief Justice, Bat Katurebe. The vote was represented by Didas Nkurunziza, Kiwanuka Kiryowa, Joseph Matsko, and Bencha Ebat. Didas Nkurunziza took the lead in defending Museveni against the electoral offences the petitioner alleged he committed before and during elections. Such offences included bribery during campaigns, including distribution of whores to convince Ugandans to vote in his favour. Nkurunziza submitted that the distribution of whores by the Prime Minister to the northern women was an ongoing project, not a campaign activity. Nkurunziza also defended the distribution of 250,000 shillings to villages across the country as a political party facilitation. He submitted on the offences of threatening the petitioner and his supporters, use of vulgar language such as putting a finger in the leopard's anus, among others. Nkurunziza asked court to dismiss these allegations, saying that there is no sufficient evidence to back them, making the petition lack merit in court.
He says, what I meant was that anybody breaching the law, taking it into his own hands, or engaging in acts of violence would face the full extent of the law and be arrested and prosecuted. My reference to touching, quote, the anus of a leopard, unquote, was borrowed from a Nyankore saying to illustrate the recklessness of engaging in such acts of unleashing violence on Ugandan citizens as happened in Tungamo.
Didas Nkurunziza made his conclusion, saying that these allegations, which don't have evidence, were not committed by Museveni in any way. By 10:30, Kiwanuka Kiryowa, the second lawyer representing Museveni, made his submissions to court. He submitted on 5 allegations of non-compliance with the Presidential Election Act. This included the National Voters Register, use of national ID as a voter's card, late delivery of material on polling day, and finally, tallying declaration results. In defending his client, Kiwanuka used affidavits filed by Joshua Amala, the head of election management, and Jotham Talimwa, the spokesperson of the Electoral Commission. Joshua Amala's affidavit said the Electoral Commission was a participant in collecting data that enabled the making of the national IDs. And this information was mandatory in helping the update of the National Voters Register. Jotham Talimwa's affidavit said that the Commission took the responsibility of sending over 30 adverts in the media to call upon eligible voters to update their particulars in the National Voters Register. It also added that this was done in 30 languages. Kiwanuka Kiryowa added that there was no voter who filed a complaint that they were disenfranchised by the voters register as alleged by the petitioner.
He says that every citizen above the age of 18 has a duty to register as a voter. So every citizen has a right, and then under 59(2), they have a duty. In Article 59(3), the state, and in this case the Electoral Commission, is given a duty to take all necessary steps, all steps possible, to ensure that every citizen qualified to vote has an opportunity to exercise that right.
On the delay of polling material to reach Kampala and Wakiso, the lawyers attributed this to declaration sheets that were supposed to be printed and given to all polling stations, but this process of printing was miscalculated. As the third session came to a conclusion, Joseph Matsko, yet another lawyer to the respondent, appeared before court to present issues relating to evidence filed by the petitioner. Matsko clearly made a conclusion to each affidavit filed by the petitioner to support his case that it was not sufficient to support any allegation made towards his client, Museveni. In the last session that ended at 6:55 p.m., Herbert Bencha told court that the petition had failed to provide sufficient evidence and consequently asked court to change the rules guiding the hearing. He concluded by asking court on behalf of his client to rubbish the petition since there isn't sufficient evidence to support most of the allegations. The next hearing from the second respondent is expected to start today at 9 a.m. Reporting for Urban TV, I am Ruth Naseje.